What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back. Well, I'm back. Jack's been here for quite some time now, but it feels good. It feels good to be just kind of getting back into the groove of things, getting back and like settling down. Not sitting in the house, just you know thinking and stuff like that. So I am very happy to be here today. But before we get into, there's so much news that I have written down. Jack sent me some stuff that he had written down, and it was just like, wow, this is going to be a long one. Because, I mean, I think between the two of us, we had like 11 different things to talk about, which is going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. We'll, of course, get to that Snyder Cut stuff. But like I said, before we do that, want to throw a shout out to our current Patreon members, Caden, Nick, Odd, that one, Carlos. You guys are the lifeblood of the Pop Culture Corner, and we truly do thank you. We couldn't do it without you. If this is your first time here to the channel today, make sure you subscribe and then consider becoming a Patreon. If you like all that behind the scenes, early access, all that good stuff, free yearly gifts, private community Discord. Yeah, the list goes on and goes on and on and on and on and on. But yes, make sure you subscribe. If you're returning, we thank you. Let me get Jack in here now. I think he's sitting down now. Yeah, all right, there he is.
There I am.
There you are.
Hey guys, how are you?
Oh yes, I got it all out. It's been a while since I had to throw it all out like that.
Yeah,
but it's been quite the week, for news as well though. Like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Sometimes there are days when we do the show and there's very little going on,
right?
But the cool thing is our fans are into the Snyderverse, so we can always talk about that. But today it's one of those days where like so much has happened across all pop culture, not just comic book stuff, but beyond that, music, television.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll let you start it off with one of the ones, maybe one of the lesser ones. You can start off.
Yeah, so kind of on a sad note, rapper DMX over the weekend apparently overdosed. And they got to him a little too late. He was brain dead. They had to revive him 3 times. For me, DMX was a pioneer of gangster rap. I remember when I was growing up, gangster rap was still kind of like, oh, that's what they listen to. We don't listen to that stuff like mainstream audiences. But his songs were so good, that he kind of mainstreamed it. He had this great, gravelly, aggressive voice. And unfortunately, from all the accounts, even the most recent account, his family's with him. Doesn't look good. I hope it turns around. We all hope. He's not that old. He's maybe 49, 50. But they're holding vigils for him outside of New York City. So that's the situation with Dark Man X. His real name is Earl Simmons.
Oh, that's his real name?
Yeah, Earl Simmons, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really grow up too much with DMX, but I know who they are. I know who he is. I know what he accomplished and stuff like that. But no matter what, it's too early. It's 50 years old. It's not. I mean, my mom just passed away at 50 as well. So.
Oh my goodness, she's only 50.
Yeah, she's only 50.
Oh.
So to see them going that early is terrible.
Yeah.
But well, we definitely wish him the best and hopeful recovery. And if not, we'll update you on everything that's going on.
Yeah, and kind of on a social sad note, today is Heath Ledger's birthday. He would have been 42. It's crazy that he was 28 or 27 when he did The Dark Knight. It was 13 years ago. Today would have been his 42nd birthday. And, he's one of those actors always wondered, had he lived, what did he have in store for us? What would have happened, kind of post The Dark Knight,
Right. That's terrible. That whole that whole situation, because he had such talent and he had such pizzazz, and he really would get deep into a character, and then almost too deep, and then we see what we saw happen. But I mean, by all accounts, I don't think many people knew what he actually was doing to get into character. So I don't think anyone could have even tried to help, which is a sucky thing, because if someone noticed and kind of brought someone aside and said, hey, this isn't natural. What can we do? But he was locked himself away in like a hotel room at
Yeah.
months upon months upon months.
Yeah.
So, that sucks. And so happy birthday, Heath Ledger.
Yeah. It just goes to show like there's so many great actors, but they have demons in them. I mean, who doesn't have demons? But sometimes the greats, the reason they're great is because, they go through stuff and they're able to channel that. You look at someone like Joaquin Phoenix, who is very different. People might say he's weird, if that's the word they want to use. But one of the reasons he's a great actor is that he's a little bit different in personality and style, the way he thinks. And that helps channel why he's such a good actor. And sometimes they go through these, like, they have these dark places, but that's where they draw upon
Yeah.
to be as good as they are. That's why not every actor can do that, no matter how talented they are, good looking, well spoken. They don't have that it factor. The it factor can be both a blessing and a curse.
Agreed. And then do you think Heath would have went on to be, so I know you've said it before, but do you think Heath would have went on to be in The Dark Knight Rises?
I think absolutely.
If it was still going to be called The Dark Knight Rises, I don't know if Heath Ledger was around, would they have went with that title? Would they have not have? Like, but that third movie, you think Heath would have been
absolutely? He may not have been the main villain, but he definitely would have been. Kind of the way Loki is in the Thor movies. He's the villain in the first movie, but he's still in Thor 2 and 3. Like, he would have been a heavy presence, I think, in that third film, because he basically pushed Batman over the edge in The Dark Knight. He took away the woman he loves. He killed Harvey Dent. He almost undid everything. And I kind of lament, what that third movie would have been had he lived. Even, would he have been someone to be pro Bane or anti Bane? He might have caused hell for Bane too. Like, you turn Gotham City into a playground. Now I'm going to turn it into a dumpster fire.
Wow. Yeah.
Could have been interesting to see.
Imagine if only we could turn back time and just like see what would have happened. See about like if Heath would have been in that movie. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really care too much for The Dark Knight Rises. I was a good movie. It was an all right movie. But like with the inclusion, I think I've heard someone say it before. Maybe the Joker would have taken the place of the Scarecrow.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been more. Like,
I think it would have been way more screen time than that. Someone who's actually like pulling strings,
Yeah.
So I guess
the thing is, Chris Nolan is so tight-lipped.
Yeah,
he was so tight-lipped because remember Heath died. The movie came out in July. And he died in January. So a good 6-7 months before, The Dark Knight came out. So whatever plans Chris initially had, because he works on one film at a time, whatever ideas, I know Caden's saying the Riddler would have been the third villain. They didn't really plan out these things. Chris Nolan did Inception after that. He's like, I'm going to do the movie I want to do. And then after that, I'm going to do the third Batman movie.
Yeah. I mean, so the Riddler done in a, so I feel like the Riddler would have been a good character for Chris Nolan because it's just another guy, it's just another guy who is very smart, maybe a little narcissistic in a sense, right? So I think that would have been, a cool little, a cool finale film. Put the Joker in there as well. Now we got a cool little, cool little cast there. So that would have been really fun.
Yeah, because I agree with you. I don't think The Dark Knight Rises was as good as The Dark Knight. I think it lacked in energy. It sometimes got really slow. And I think someone calculated that he's barely Batman in it.
Yeah, he really is. He's
you only see him like he shows up halfway in a really cool scene. When he's chasing Bane, and then he gets his back broken, and then he comes back at the end. And like, there's a lot of other stories that are just, The Dark Knight had such an energy. It's like, what's going to happen next? I don't know, because the Joker is so chaotic. Buildings blowing up, the mayor's being shot at, police commissioners being blown up. Like, it was like, dude, like, this is pretty intense stuff for a PG-13 movie.
Hell yeah. So there was another one. So the Suicide Squad. Why does it say spin-offs? I made sure I changed that. I did it. I did change it. There we go. So the Suicide Squad spinoff, The Peacemaker, it lands Jessica Jones director. And the reason I bring this up is because I have to So it's Rosemary Rodriguez, and
Okay.
so she directed 2 episodes of Jessica Jones, and they're my 2 favorite episodes of Jessica Jones.
Okay. Which ones?
I didn't write them down.
Okay.
I didn't write the titles down, but I went in and
Okay.
watched and saw which ones were hers. I think
Okay.
it's there. It's one of them's called like AKA the. I mean, they're all AKA, but
Are they all from season 1?
no, one of them season 1, one of them season 2.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But she really is a good. She like the way she films things is I like it. I like the way she shoots her stuff, and I like the way that it comes out. You know, when you're in the audience and watching it.
Yeah, I'm looking her up. I thought maybe she was new up and coming. She's been going all the way back to Law and Order back in 2005. Very well accomplished person.
Yeah, very well. And
A
I'm
good
glad that they
wife.
brought someone who's like almost like a veteran in.
Yeah. Yeah. Bring
to
in
do
someone
it.
who knows how to do film, and then you can kind of play it. Because I imagine Peacemaker is going to be something kind of different than what we're used to from TV shows. So it's smart to have someone who's a veteran.
Yeah,
And
for
then
sure.
they know how to experiment rather than get someone who's going to experiment without that experience of what it's like to work on a big budget show.
Exactly. And I mean that's a quick tidbit.
Yeah.
We don't really know too much about Peacemaker yet. As details do release, guys, we will be there and we'll let you know what's going on with that. But here's one that I thought was interesting. So could HBO Max be considering a Martian Manhunter movie or series? The answer is potentially, but potentially animated.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think about that? Do you think you'd be okay? So Harry Lennox said, yeah, but I don't. He said okay, but the justice won't be done until he gets his own live action movie or series.
Yeah.
So
this would not be connected to that, I'm guessing. This would not be connected to the Snyderverse, I'm guessing.
I don't know. But they want to expand more upon the Martian Manhunter story.
Yeah.
And I don't know too many details further than that. But I do know that this came up, and I thought it piqued my interest because I have those same questions.
Yeah, because we know Aquaman's getting his sequel, Wonder Woman's getting her second sequel. If hypothetically they do continue with Justice League 2, chances are they're probably, I don't know if Zach had planned to do a background on the Martian Manhunter. A TV show or an animated series might be a great way to introduce audiences. Because look, if HBO's doing it, I'm not thinking the WB shows. I'm thinking Spawn. I don't know if you remember that, kind of like intense. It's not going to be like, for kids. Like, not that I'm saying it has to be like, gratuitously violent or anything like that, but it could be, more adult oriented, animated series for adults. Because a lot of times when people think of animated series for adults, they think, like South Park or Family Guy or Archer, but we really don't get serious dramas, like Spawn was the animated series. I mean, I can't really think of like adult oriented dramas outside of anime,
right?
At least, yeah,
right.
So,
and I'm not like 100% familiar with Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
like the backgrounds and stuff.
I only know the story just from
Yeah, so I know he's like the last surviving Manhunter or something like that, and then he comes to Earth to hide away.
Yeah.
His family dies and stuff like that, but
I think his entire race died actually. He was the last. And they lived on Mars like 10,000 years ago when humans were like cave people.
Right, and I think that would be it would be cool to like get into. Like it'd be cool, and it would be. I think you'd have to have. Would Harry Lennox voice the character or no?
If they're going to do the movies, probably not, just because voice animation does take a long time. You know what I mean? So if he were to do both the live action and he wants to do his other, commitments, he's on the show Blacklist, I would like for him to do it, but I don't know if he would. He might just be like, nah, just cast someone else.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. Because you don't really think about it, but like animation takes a long time, and voice acting for animation is really time consuming, almost as much as it is for filming an actual, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
He might be like, I'll do the movies, but I have other things I want to do.
So I know this is something you wanted to talk about, and
Mhm.
it's rolling under me right now. So there's a Space Jam trailer
Yeah.
that came out.
hmm
What do you? I haven't seen it yet.
I wasn't expecting it to be good, but it actually piqued my interest because I like the first one. It's a fun movie, and I grew up with Michael Jordan, and I love Looney Tunes. I've been watching Looney Tunes all my life. I remember the day when Cartoon Network had nothing but Looney Tunes before they had, their own programming. So I was like, God, they're making a second one, whatever. But LeBron is a hot star right now. He's still arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, and it actually looks kind of interesting. It looks kind of fun in the same way the first one was fun. It's not going to be groundbreaking filmmaking, but you're going to see familiar characters. And what's kind of cool about the trailer is they kind of show the Warner Brothers verse in it. So in the same way that what was that movie that Steven Spielberg did, Ready Player One? How you would see like King Kong and you'd see all these other Universal type.
Yeah.
You get to see like Drogon and stuff like that in animated form. Because I don't know if you remember like the first Space Jam, the Looney Tunes live in like a kind of alternate dimension.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. In that alternate dimension, you have all these Warner Brothers titles kind of like running around. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. So they can, kind of play around with that, including Kong. Yeah, I think you see Kong at one point.
Huh. I feel like I want to play it.
Yeah, take a look. Again, it's not like a mind-blowing story, but it looked kind of fun, Do you want to pull it up or?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. The first one was, and here's the funny thing: the first one wasn't that huge of a hit, but it was a huge hit on video rental, and I remember every kid like had a copy of it because it was just that popular, and it looks fun. Again, and I was to be honest with you, I wasn't sure if LeBron would be, a good actor or not. Not that I'm saying he's Orson Welles in this or anything, but he seemed to pull it off. He has some argument. Well, I'll share the screen.
Yeah, so and then I have a couple things to talk about the Snyder Cut at the end.
Oh, okay.
So we'll talk at the end about that.
Oh, pause. All right, you guys see it?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Not a fan?
No, I'm all set.
I
mean,
it's Zendaya is voicing Lola Bunny.
Yeah, I understand how that could be liked by even adults, but I don't know. That went really far away from what I remember Space Jam being.
Yeah,
so.
it does seem much bigger. I think they went with 3D animation because at first it looked like they were 2D because when Bugs says "What's up, Doc," and then it switched to 3D animation. Which, by the way, I'm fine with 2D animation. I don't mind 2D animation.
I just don't know if that could. I don't know if that could ever even hold up to the first. The first one is iconic. I don't care who you are.
Are you talking about the movie or are you talking about LeBron and Michael?
What?
Oh, I was making a joke. Like, I don't know if it'll hold up to the first one because a lot of people have those arguments about LeBron versus Michael.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
I know that's not what you meant, but that's where I was, thinking.
I just don't think that has any place in that. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I did not think it was going to be good, but it looked better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But it kind of gave me very Ready Player One vibes when you saw
I did. Yeah, it did. No, you're 100% true. I definitely got some Ready Player One vibes from when all the creatures are running around and stuff.
Yeah.
And then coming like King Kong, you saw the big metal giant thing.
Iron Giant, yeah.
Iron
and
Giant.
Ryan Coogler's producing it, so I'm hoping it'll be somewhat decent. Because Ryan's pretty cool, and he's also producing the Wakanda show. So that
Speaking of trailers, I heard there's a new Black Widow trailer. So if you want to pull that up as well.
All right.
So we'll get into some Black Widow talk here. Save the best for last. Save all the DC stuff for the end.
I'm wondering if this is the same one I saw in theaters. Did you guys see one? Here we go. Yep. For what do you call it? Okay.
I think this is a little bit older news, like as far as days go, but
yeah.
I mean, this is the first time I've been here in a while, so.
Okay. Here we go. Share audio. And go.
You don't know everything about me. I've lived a lot of lives. Before I was an Avenger. Before I got this family. I made mistakes choosing between what the world wants you to be.
There we go.
And who you are. We have to go back to where it all started.
Where did you think I was all this time?
We have unfinished business.
My girls are the toughest girls in the world.
I'm sorry. We had our orders and we played our roles.
It wasn't real.
It was real to me. To me, you were everything.
Bring her home.
Put your seatbelts on. She's such a mom.
One thing's for sure. I'm done running from my past.
I was almost waiting for a post-credit scene almost.
Yeah,
like,
so
like something to pop it up at the end.
see, I like that. I like that trailer. I think it opened to way more. It received a lot more positive reaction in comparison to other things. So that's a good sign. I like. And is Red Guardian supposed to be their father, like the adopted father?
I don't know if they're actually related to each other because Rachel Weisz is too young to be ScarJo's mom. So I think it's one of those. You ever seen that show, The Americans? Like one of those spy families where they're not actually a family, like as in blood related. There are people who are kind of like, like she says, we were given a role and I played that role, and I think that's where they're going with that.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting because, like, I always saw Black Widow, at least in the comics. If you ever saw an animated, she always had a Russian accent, but she did in the movies. Like, well, maybe she lost it, but her family has all these like thick Russian accents.
Yeah.
An undercover family. Okay.
I had a little bit of hope for this movie, right?
Mhm.
Like, I never asked for it to be made. It wasn't something on the top of my list. The first trailer came out, and I was like, oh, okay. This one, I don't know. This one gave me a lot more. There's a lot more depth to it, and it's not just like another Marvel movie. It's got like there's something we're not seeing right now. Right? There's something hidden that we need to find.
I hope so, but like I think it'll just be what we see. Because here's the thing: part of what kind of bugs me is that we know that, spoiler alert, that Black Widow died in Endgame. So I'm wondering if she actually is dead. I wonder if there's a post-credit scene that once Cap returns the Soul Stone, does she get returned or something like that? Because I always thought that she would be a good person to lead the new Avengers.
Yeah.
Being that she is of the original and she has to unite new people, and ScarJo's relatively young. So, make her the new leader of the Avengers. I don't know if that really necessarily follows the comics, but the MCU right now is lacking a leading person.
Yeah.
So, and she could do it.
But yeah, so but I do have a little bit more faith in the Black Widow film at this point. I think it's going to be entertaining nonetheless. I think it's going to be something that we all can talk about for a little while, and but you're right. It's hard to get behind it because you already know she's dead. It's hard to get excited for it, and because the only thing that could possibly lead to this would maybe be Florence Pugh's character.
Is that the sister?
Yeah. Her coming out and being the new Black Widow, right?
Oh, okay.
So like that's the only thing I'm thinking that we might get post Black Widow movie. But again, who am I to say? I don't know truly, but
I'll be honest with you. When I was in the theater, there was a small audience there. This trailer played, and then the Fast 9 trailer played, and the audience kind of reacted more to the Fast 9 trailer, which is pure schlock. But I kind of think that looked more fun. Like they're not trying to like do anything heady with it. There looks something like there's gonna be some cool action in that one too. But they were both, because in this one you see the villain is he Taskmaster, like on some kind of like APC, and then in Fast 9 you see like a line of APCs, almost like a train. They flip that, and I was like, oh my god, these movies have to be watched on the big screen.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And I'm not seeing Black Widow on Disney Plus. I'm gonna go watch it.
Hell yeah. What else you got? I know you got a lot, so.
Godzilla vs. Kong performed very well, and I think that's all thanks to our show. It racked up $48.5 million in the first day of theaters. It's the best showing by a landslide. This is according to Variety for a movie since the pandemic struck, and so that means it beat Wonder Woman 1984, which I think a lot of people watched at home. But I think people are ready to go back to the movie theaters. The film performed very well. And I think that by the time the summer comes out, by the time Black Widow comes out, the Suicide Squad comes out, Matrix 4, people are ready to go back to the movie theaters because it's already happening. So those are really, really good numbers.
Yeah, I mean, so what I have here is so in the 5-day opening, the film had brought in a total of $48.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant $32 million opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wonder Woman's opening weekend was $16.7 million. So I mean, it's smack. And then Tom and Jerry's is a little bit. It's in there too, but it didn't even come close. Yeah. So, I mean, Godzilla and Kong are doing pretty well right now. Like you said, they're doing good.
Yeah, and I think word of mouth is spreading that it's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie, and the thing that kind of sucks is we're not going to get those numbers from HBO Max.
Yep.
The ones that really let us determine how well this movie did overall. And I think that's pretty frustrating.
It is frustrating. And I think there's I'm just going to use this word, for a legal case to be made that as subscribers, we have a right to know how a streaming service that we're paying for is doing. Because, we have a right. They show us the Nielsen ratings for TV shows. Do we as consumers have a right to know how a show is doing, especially if we're paying for a product? And I think a strong case can be like, yeah, we do. We do have a right. I've had HBO Max. Before that, we had HBO, as I know there was a second Suicide Squad trailer that everyone's raving about, but I don't think it's been put online yet. The one that you saw.
The one that I saw at the theater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. It's just like a variation of the one that's out right now, but it has extra stuff in it, and it flows a little bit better, I think.
Okay. There's a Loki trailer, a new Loki trailer that dropped this morning. We actually shared it. Do you want to take a look at that too?
I sure do.
All right. Let me get the one from Disney, so we don't get any ads. Or not from Disney, from Marvel.
By the way, the new Loki trailer is a fire.
Yeah,
it's fire.
I thought that was really impressive, but here we go.
And we got the release date.
Yeah. Share audio. All right. Here we go.
I know what this place is. The timekeepers have built quite the circus. And I see the clowns are playing their parts to perfection. Big metaphor guy. I love it. Makes you sound super smart. I am smart. I know. Okay.
Please sign to verify this is everything you've ever said.
This is absurd.
Sign this too.
I love that gold right there.
Yeah.
The proper flow of time.
Kind of a 70s aesthetic to it.
You picked up the Tesseract, breaking reality. I want you to help us fix it.
Why me?
I need your unique Loki perspective.
Do I get a weapon?
Yeah.
I feel like the show's gonna be visually pleasing.
Yeah.
You really believe in this Loki variant?
Luckily, he believes in himself enough for the both of us.
Why? It is adorable that you think you could possibly manipulate me. I'm 10 steps ahead of you.
You're not big on trust, are you?
You can trust me.
Loki, I've studied almost every moment of your entire life. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times.
I'd never do it again.
Yeah, I always kind of wondered. One of the things they're bringing up is that he has to fix the timelines, because I was like, well, by him leaving in Avengers Endgame after the events in New York, the events of Thor: The Dark World and Thor: Ragnarok change, and he kind of becomes a hero at the end of Ragnarok. This Loki isn't quite a hero yet. He's still very much the guy who just destroyed New York City.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm kind of curious how they're gonna play with that.
Yeah, and I hear them mention at one point a Loki variant.
Mhm.
So, what is a variant? It's an alternative, right?
Yeah.
So, could this be a Loki, just a random Loki from the multiverse? Like,
That's what I'm guessing, because the original timeline, Loki was killed by Thanos
Yeah.
in that original MCU timeline, and this Loki is the one who left Stark Tower.
yeah, it's quite confusing, but
Yeah.
I do think that this show is going to clear up a lot. I also think that maybe this show dips into more of the multiverse. I
Mhm.
know that we've said that a lot with like WandaVision and stuff, but I do like the way the time variance authority, they literally handle that kind of like
Yeah.
they're responsible, kind of like Doctor Strange is responsible
Yeah.
for keeping things steady and the way they're supposed to be. And Loki, by Loki doing what he did in the events of Avengers Endgame, he threw a lot of things off, and you can see in that one spot it's showing you a line, and then things are branching off of it.
Yeah.
So those are new timelines being created, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, only one can assume is I guess, but that's what it looks like. And the TVA is now saying, Loki, you're going to help me. You're gonna
Yeah.
fix this. So I think out of the three shows, Falcon, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki, I think people are sleeping on Loki.
Yeah,
I
people
do
it
think
could
they
be the
are.
best one. Loki could be the best one.
I am getting
Arguably.
to the point where it might be.
And that being said, did you see Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 3?
I did.
I don't know if you wanted to talk about that now, what did you think?
Yeah, we can go right into it.
Okay, yeah.
So, if you haven't watched it, bounce out now. But so this is we're gonna talk about episode 3 in a preview form for 4. So to start it off, we kind of pick back up. I did have a couple issues with the pacing of the episode.
Mm-hmm. It seemed like a lot happened compared to the first 2 episodes, where like first 2 episodes were slower, which is fine.
Yeah,
and then this one, it was like, crap, we got to get to the story. Oh, we only got 3 episodes left. Everyone, like Game of Thrones, the last season, it's like, oh crap, we got to cram all this stuff in.
Yeah, it seemed for me that the pacing was off on it slightly, but overall, I enjoyed myself. With the Super Soldier Serum, that's not the last we're gonna ever hear of it. Yeah. What's the girl's name? The little girl?
Are you talking about the girl who's the leader of the Flags Without Nations?
Flag Smashers?
Yeah, the Flag Smashers. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that who you're talking about?
yeah.
I don't know what her name is, but if she's the villain, they got to do better.
Well, I don't think she's the villain. I think someone is I think the person above her, that's not the villain. That's not
Yeah.
the villain. But I know she has a couple of the vials,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what the person is looking for. What did they call him?
The power broker?
The power broker. There we go.
Yeah.
The power broker is looking for them. So
Mhm.
he can get the remaining vials of the super soldier serum back after she stole them, right?
Yeah.
Because in the Flag Smashers, I feel like they're doing good, right? But they're also doing terrible things.
Yeah.
In
They're
this-
terrorists. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing good. They're trying to be good people, but they're doing bad things to do it. And that's going to prove difficult for them in the future. But
I'm not 100% sure what they want. They want no more nations. Like they want to be like one world order.
it is kind of confusing what they want. They want the
Yeah.
world to go back to the way it was during the blip.
Yeah. And we've seen very little of that world. Maybe a little bit in Avengers Endgame, but
yeah,
I think the country still existed though. Like US was still the US and
yeah. But I don't. that's what I hope they clear up in the next couple episodes, because we don't know. too
maybe
much.
they're Thanos sympathizers. Maybe they liked what he did.
Yeah,
Think of it
yeah.
that way, like environmentalists. Like, yeah, he did a good job. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. But as far as the dynamic between Zemo, Falcon, and Winter Soldier, I thought was done really well.
He stole the show for me because I wasn't sure how because we see Zemo in Civil War as like very angry. I mean, there's a part where he's kind of dancing. I kind of like that, like
Yeah.
he's having, and he's rich. They kind of like, oh, I've always been rich until
Yeah.
you destroyed my family.
Yeah.
He and I don't know if he's maybe he is a villain, but I don't know if he's gonna play out like one. Maybe more of an anti-hero, not an anti-hero, but maybe just kind of someone who, because that scene where he kills the one doctor who's working on the soldier suit, I was like, they're gonna have to kill this guy or do something to him because he can make the super soldier serum.
Yeah.
And Zemo just blows his head off, like bye-bye.
Yeah.
No more.
Because no one else is going to do it.
Yeah.
So he did it. And then, you kind of think so in the midst of all that kerfuffle, you think that Zemo gets away.
Yeah.
But he did not. He was doing something, then saves them in turn. So I think the dynamic between those three is going to be something that people really like. Eventually, I don't know where that's going to lead us to eventually, whether it's putting him back in prison or pardoning him. We do see Sharon Carter make an appearance this episode.
Yeah.
And
that felt a little bit too convenient. Like, oh, she just happens to be in the certain town they're in. And I was always like, well, she didn't get a pardon, but everyone else got a pardon. The Winter Soldier got a pardon. Cap got a pardon, but for some reason she did not get
stole
one.
the shield and she couldn't get a pardon.
Yeah, it seemed and that she happens to be there, like, I mean, Cap was alive in those 5 years. You don't think Cap would have been like protecting his niece / girlfriend?
Yeah, Madripoor is it's quite the city. It's quite the city
Yeah, it
for
looks
sure.
pretty beautiful.
But where do you think John Walker's a good guy or a bad guy?
I think it's easy to think that he's a bad guy. I just think he's someone who's way in over his head.
You think so?
He doesn't know how to keep us cool. He acted like a bully. Like, when he comes in, they're interrogating those people. Like he's trying to turn to Jack Bauer. It's like, ooh, that's not a good look for Captain America. I think he's just someone who's in over his head. And because he's in over his head, he's going to make some big mistakes.
Right. Okay.
Trying to do the right thing. Maybe. I mean, he could also be a villain, but I don't think he's going to be like it was me all along.
Yeah. Well, what if he were to get his hands on that super soldier serum and took it?
What did Erskine say? It makes good better. It makes bad worse. I think he's more on the bad spectrum. You know?
So what, he's pretty much going after the super soldier serum just the same way our guys are. So what if John Walker gets his hands on it and goes, well, okay, now I can actually be Captain America, right? I can become the real Captain America because now I'm a super soldier. So I feel like, something in there is we're missing, and I think it might happen. and then we'll have a serious issue on our hands.
I think this goes back to the point of what makes Captain America great. It was Steve Rogers. He's the same guy he was when he was tiny, when he was standing up for people, and he wanted to get in the war even though he had like 20 health problems. What made Captain America? That's why Erskine picked him, because he saw that he was a good man. And the government's like, all right, let's just get another white guy with blonde hair, put him in the suit who kind of looks like him, and boom, all American football player. He'll be the guy. And they're kind of missing out what made Cap. And I think that's what's really bugging Bucky and Falcon. That bugs them. Like, no, that's not what Cap was about. This guy's like, he's like, I can kick ass too. And it's like, well, that's not who Cap was.
Right. And
Cap destroyed S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah.
And then we find that, so now we know as well, we know that there is another black super soldier who, kind of got imprisoned and experiments done on him, the whole nine. And when Falcon finds that out, he really changes a little bit, right? Like it goes from like little banter with Bucky to like actual, like, now I'm aggravated because you hid this from me. Did Steve know? No. Steve didn't know? Okay. Yeah. All right. It's a back and forth, right? So I think we haven't seen the last of whoever that is.
Yeah.
And I
think so. And it was very reminiscent of like the whole government and the Tuskegee experiments where they experimented on black men for like decades. Right. And I was like, oh, that's immediately the vibe I got, because this guy's clearly not happy, whatever was done to him.
And I think Anthony Strader just said it. So I think that General Ross is at the end of this somewhere. I think he's on the other side somewhere. And he's maybe enlisted the help of someone, maybe the Flag Smashers. I don't know who, the Power Broker. I don't know who it is, but I feel like General Ross is somewhere and he's trying to get his hands on the super soldier serum.
Just like he was an Incredible Hulk.
Right. That's just like he was every other time. He in the back of his mind, he's always trying to get the super soldier serum. And he's messed up so many times. Thus creating the Hulk thing and
Abomination.
Everything, so many misfortuned attempts or what's the word?
Missteps.
Yes. So many missteps has led him to, like, it's always on his mind, that super soldier serum. Yep. I need it. So I think this could be a leadway and into the Thunderbolts.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't know. That's just me, though.
I don't know much about the Thunderbolts. I'll be honest with you.
Well, yeah, and we're also getting Abomination in She-Hulk. So,
so he's still around. Yeah.
Yep. So we got Zemo.
And wouldn't Abomination be exactly what the government wants? A killing machine that'll do what they want.
What do you mean?
Like Abomination will be a great villain in the sense that if they were to bring him back, he'd be the type of Hulk that the government wants. Like, hey, go and kill these people for us.
Right.
Because Bruce Banner would never do that.
Right. So I do think that there's, and I'm giving it props to everyone. By the way, what's up, Jack? Giving props to Falcon Winter Soldier for the run times. Yeah. The run times I think are hitting it perfectly. It's like 42, 43 minutes with like 5 minutes of credits where we're pushing an hour, but we get almost an hour's worth of content. And if I could say this, keep doing it that way. People are happy. I like the show. I do. Yeah. So far, I like the show.
Each episode is more fulfilling than I would say WandaVision was. With WandaVision, was like, get to the point. Oh, the point was what we figured out in episode 1. All right. Because I don't know where this is going, but I like this episode. I could watch it again.
Yeah, guys. So let us know in the comments, out of the Disney Plus shows that we've seen so far, including WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, which one did you like more? Why? And all that jazz. Okay, so share your comments below. Let us know what you think. Falcon, Winter Soldier, or WandaVision. While they do that, I just want to see. Did you see this Green Lantern concept art?
No.
This one right here.
Ooh.
So this was some concept art that was shared on Twitter for Green Lantern in Zach's film. So potentially the one that landed with Martian Manhunter. With Martian Manhunter at where Bruce's like house
Yeah.
is at the end of
Yeah.
the movie. So I don't know, man. That looks a lot like John Boyega.
Yeah, he looks younger because every time they show him in the animated series, he's got a little bit of gray hair, so I thought maybe he's older, but that looks kind of cool. They used to stand it. Well, who made this or who shared it rather? Do they say who?
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at it though.
Zach didn't share this though, right?
No, I don't think Zach shared it.
Okay.
No.
But I know that looks cool. And that I don't know why they didn't let him do his thing with that. I mean, it was cool seeing Martian Manhunter, but if Green Lantern had showed up at the end, like I have a vested interest in this planet.
I'm digging it though. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I liked how in the Snyder cut with the aliens, with the alien the alien Green Lantern, how the lantern kind of like glowed off of his chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was like almost like a hologram. I really like that. So the concept artist Jojo Aguilera did.
Okay.
So the concept artist for Justice League.
That's pretty cool,
so
though.
that is it's a cool little
and it looks very Zack Snyderish, like just the way the uniform looks on him.
Oh yeah.
It looks the way like Zack Snyder would want it,
Oh yeah. Quick news, guys. So HBO's The Last of Us is going to start filming in July in Alberta. What is it?
Canada? Alberta?
Calgary, Alberta, Calgary. So that's I don't know if that's your thing. It's not my thing. Jack, are you excited for this?
Partially. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the first game. I did not like the second. The second game was still a great game, but they made some story decisions that didn't work for me. But some people it was still a hell of an experience. My only request is do not regurgitate the first game. You know what I mean? Don't just tell us this. Yes, keep the same basic stories, which is that this little girl is immune. And this guy, which is Pedro Pascal's character, he's sort of like a smuggler. Like you need to get her to people who can figure out how to get, immunity from within her. And he lost his daughter, when the pandemic started, and they kind of form a bond. That's all I want to see. Don't regurgitate the same exact plot. Do it in your own way.
Well, here I have something written down here. The series will deviate from the original storyline of the game to better suit a live action narrative and maximize entertainment value.
Good. That's how they should do it.
Yeah. So
I like that. Don't tell us the same story, because the story that's done in the game is really, you could watch it as a movie. It's pretty damn good. So do it your own way.
Right. And that's what I think is going to be. That's what I think is going to make it its own thing. And I'm excited to see it. I don't really play video games, but the story is intriguing, and that whole thing. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
It has the potential to be better than The Walking Dead if executed right.
Really?
Like it has that. Yeah. They're not they're kind of zombies, but they're a little bit different. Think of the lines more of like how 28 days later they're not dead,
right?
But they're infected with something, and
right.
It's a very scary world,
Okay.
So it could work really cool.
Yeah. So moving over to Mortal Kombat, we got the runtime. 1 hour and 50 minutes. What are you thinking? Is it not enough? Too much? Not even close.
I think that's probably what it needs to be, because I don't want them to add too much story where, like, you're kind of almost like, all right, let's get to the fighting. Right. You know what I mean? I don't know if this movie needs to be 2.5 hours long, is what I'm saying.
Right. And it's going to be a hard R.
Good.
Like the rating on it isn't just rated R; it's a hard R. It's very bloody and gory and violent, and you probably shouldn't take your kids there. If you do, you're an insane person. But I don't know. I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan, but how long was that original movie?
I think that one was way shorter, if I remember.
Probably like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah. See, now every time I type in Mortal Kombat, it gives me the new one.
Yeah. I don't know. 1 hour and 50 minutes.
Okay, 1 hour and 42 minutes, right? So it's about 10 minutes shorter, but you take into credits, maybe 5-6 minutes of credits. So it's a little bit more than an hour and a half.
Yeah, so listen, I don't think this is like because people are freaking out like, oh, that's the end of Mortal Kombat again, just because the runtime's an hour and 50 minutes. That's not true.
No.
That's not true.
Movies don't need to always be long.
No, they don't. And in maybe their Mortal Kombat is setting up, a little franchise, and this is kind of like the introduction. And they don't want to overdo it. They'd rather give you enough to keep you salivating. That way you come back next time. And who knows? But I just don't judge it by the runtime. Because even for me, I was kind of upset that Godzilla vs. Kong was only 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it turned out that was like the perfect runtime.
Yeah. Yeah. And it focused enough on the human story. Like, sometimes with King of Monsters, I'm like, can we get back to the monsters? Can we get back to the monsters? I don't care about Millie, her mom, and her dad. And Godzilla vs. Kong had the perfect balance. Just enough of the two human stories going on and enough of the fighting and the chaos and the craziness. And I think that's what Mortal Kombat's going to do. Don't expect like a great, grand story with 20-minute scenes of dialogue. Nope. It's going to have fighting. It's going to have just enough to get you to the next scene.
Right.
Which is what you want. From a movie like Mortal Kombat.
Okay. What else you got?
Oh, that's almost everything I have. I think we had Heath Ledger, Godzilla vs. Kong, DMX, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki. Yeah, that was everything.
That's not everything.
Yeah, but I know you got some Snyder Cut stuff, right?
No, that's why I did the Green Lantern.
Oh, okay. I thought because I know War Stew posted something today earlier.
Why I thought I had something else.
But anyway, that guy War Stew said that right now he's getting the same information that our friends at Licecast are saying, that discussions are being had. Nothing's concrete.
Yeah, so let's finish it up with this. With the talk that you're saying right now.
Okay.
So
again, folks, people are like, why haven't we heard anything yet? So what Taylor was saying was that Zach, from what he understands, Zach has to repitch it. What he would want to do for Justice Leagues 2 and 3. So those conversations are being had. Worstu also reported that Ben Affleck really enjoyed playing Batman again, even though it was for like one scene with Zack Snyder, but he wants to do it with Snyder, apparently. Because we all know that Ben was going through some personal stuff in his life. A lot of people think, he hated playing Batman. I think it had more to do with what was going on in his life that happened to coincide with playing Batman. But there's a lot of demand. Look, it's still, everyone's talking about it 2 weeks later, even though Godzilla vs. Kong came out and everyone's going crazy about it. But the talks are happening. Keep up the pressure is what I say. And don't do it under if someone died, don't Restore the Snyderverse underneath that, or review bomb other movies.
Right. So I mean, are you? What are your opinions? Do you think that Justice League 2 and 3 would do well as HBO Max series?
Yeah, I absolutely do, because I said this when we did the show the other day, that my fear is that they say, yeah, Zach, go ahead and make a theatrical movie. And Zach makes a 3.5 hour movie, and then Warner Brothers is like, all right, give me the scissors, out. They can screw them after the fact. Right. They can say, hey, you got full control, film whatever you want to film, and then screw them after the fact. I think that HBO Max would be like, hey, and here's the thing, Zach could design a film that can be split up into parts, because Snyder Cut, if that had been split up into 4 or 5 episodes, I don't know if it would have worked, because it doesn't have, the way an episode is designed, you have like something, a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Whereas the first 2 acts or first 2 parts of Snyder Cut are kind of building towards something larger. I don't know if that would have worked as a TV show. It might have lost steam, actually. If the first part 1 airs and then it ends, people are like, yeah, I don't know if I want to see part 2.
Right.
But when it goes together. But this way, Zach can design a much larger story. He could do a Martian Manhunter origin story. He could do a Green Lantern origin story within a 5-hour or 6-hour episodic journey. I think he would thrive.
That's kind of my thoughts exactly. I think Zach was always meant to be on a streaming service. I don't know why, but he likes the long the long form storytelling. He enjoys it, and he's able to flesh out characters a little bit better like that. This would allow him the opportunity to focus maybe each episode, like depending on how long the series are, he could focus on one character this episode. Like each person gets their episode, which they're the heart of, right? And then it culminates with one final episode. I don't know. I'm not Zach, so I'm just saying there's a lot of freedoms and there's a lot of opportunity that could come with this. And that's exciting. Does this also mean we're going to get the Batman with Ben Affleck on HBO Max, the one that we've been talking about? Because after I saw that nightmare scene with the way Joker looks at Batman, it still gives me nightmares. There was such tension.
I gotta see more.
I need to see more of Ben and Jared Leto face to face in a movie or a series, I should say.
I mean, just that line where he's like, "When I kill you, and make no mistake, I will effing kill you." Like some actors, when they try to sound tough, just sound like it sounded like this guy's serious. Those two, just the chemistry. I'm like, I want to see more. I want to see more of those.
And then it was just like 5 seconds of like just Joker looking back at him, like with this look, and I was just like, I was sitting there, and I'm like, when is it gonna end? What the? Oh, this is eating my soul. But the chemistry between them was amazing. So
and every time Joe Manganiello talks about what they had planned, that the final fight was going to be all throughout Gotham, I'm like, why did they say no to that? Like, but if you do it in a TV show, you could do a 30-minute battle, like in the last episode, instead of like a 15-20-minute battle that you got to fit in a 2-hour movie or 2.5-hour movie.
Right.
They could do so much more to expand the world of Gotham, because we really don't know much about Gotham in the Snyderverse. Yeah, Birds of Prey, we kind of explore Gotham, but I feel like in that movie, it could be any city. That could be New Orleans. It could be LA.
So to explore Gotham more would be very, very fun. It's fun. It's almost fun.
Carla Gugino as Selena Kyle, and he's divorced. I'm like, that's stuff we don't really get to see in the movies.
Nope.
Because every time they do a movie, they do with a young Batman, Dark Knight, and then Dark Knight Rises, you got to end the story. But you could actually develop Bruce Wayne's relationship with Alfred, with Commissioner Gordon. There's so many opportunities. There's money to be made out of this. Right. And Affleck's popularity right now is through the roof. Any naysayers that were even 4 years ago were like, I don't know about Affleck. It's out the window. Everyone loves him.
Yep. I'm one of them. I am truly one of them, because
he's still, when I think of Batman, I think of him.
Me too. And for the longest time, Christian Bale was my Batman. That was because he was the most recent Batman.
Yeah.
But
and before him, you had Joel Schumacher's Nipples Batman.
Yeah.
So
And so when Ben came on the scene and looked the way he looked, it took over. I was like, that is Batman. Yeah. It's not the question doesn't become, is that my Batman? No, the question is, why isn't it your Batman? Because that is Batman.
Yeah.
Like that's Batman if I ever saw one.
Yeah. And he's got a charm about him. Like what they did with the Christian Bale was like, they're like, let's make him a bit of a douchebag. Like that's his persona. Like in Batman Begins, he's like jumping in the pool in the restaurant,
Yeah.
He's coming in with 3 women, and it seemed kind of fake, but I liked his Bruce Wayne where he goes up to Diana, is like, excuse me, miss, you took something that belongs to you. It doesn't belong to you. He's being kind of smooth. He's not trying to act like a jerk. He's just like, hey, I'm an alpha male. You took something from me, and it works. I like his Bruce Wayne. Back. Yeah.
Give me it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what are your God damn, I can't speak today. What do you think? How much longer do you think that they need to take to get this done?
I would say a couple of weeks.
Before we hear
just
anything.
Because let's say Zach makes his pitch, they say yes. If Warner Brothers is smart, they should integrate the Snyderverse with what we've already seen, and then get, because Flash, it was supposed to start filming by now, but then I keep hearing I feel like they're holding off on Flash because they might want to connect it to the Snyderverse. I don't know. That's my theory. And the fact those 2 Walter Hamada projects got canceled, I think it's not just restoring the Snyderverse, but they might want to connect the Snyderverse to Shazam, to Wonder Woman 3, connect these movies together. because there's more money to be made that way instead of just saying, okay, yeah, Zach, you do your thing over here, we'll do our thing over here. But I said there was nothing that happened in Snyder Cut that really negates any other movies except, maybe Superman shows up in the blue suit in Shazam,
Right.
but really, like, that doesn't bug me. Maybe he wore that suit that day. I don't know, because maybe that's what kids know. Hey, Superman, can you put on the blue suit for these kids because they love the blue suit?
Yeah, and we do know that there is Investors Day coming up for AT&T and Warner Media. So could we potentially see anything happen there?
How far away is it? Do you know? Let me see.
I don't know the exact date.
So the Investors Day 2021 AT&T. That would be No, they had its webcast on March 12th to 2021. Maybe it's another one. I don't know.
Wait, did it already happen?
Yeah, apparently it already happened, maybe. But that might be something more. Does Warner Brothers do their own? Because even though they're owned by AT&T, they might have Warner Brothers or HBO Max do their own. Because HBO Max is coming up on the 1-year anniversary.
Huh.
So
All
I think
right,
they have more of these. So I think Caden says there's one in May. It might be another one. It's not like they do it once a year. They probably do a couple of them.
Okay. Well, I'll look into it and make sure I know that. Because I was talking to someone about it, and they said, "Oh, maybe Investors Day, kind of like what Disney did, where they announced like all their shit, all their stuff." I mean, but yeah, I mean, so
yeah, because March makes sense because that's when quarter 4 ends in business. So I think quarter 1 would end maybe in April or June or something. But whatever. What I mean is, I would be patient. I would say keep the pressure up, restore the Snyderverse. Don't take your fingers off the hashtag. Keep retweeting it, and tag them. Keep the pressure up. Keep watching the movie, and don't give up hope because anywhere there's money to be made, someone will make that money, and we're willing to offer the money.
Yes, for sure. But that's probably gonna be all the time we have for you guys today. Unfortunately, I think Jack has to go get his car.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yep.
I forgot.
So, guys, before we do go, I just want to say thank you. I needed to do this today. I know I'm still a little bit out of it, but
the fundraiser.
Yes. So we do. My mother we're trying to carry out her wishes. And we're trying. She passed away a couple of days ago now, and we need help getting her buried in the services and all that. I will include the link in the description if you don't mind helping out. If you need it sooner, you can go over to Twitter. It's posted there a couple times. It's on Facebook a couple times, but it would surely mean a lot to me. I needed to get my head off some things today, so I did stop in to do the show. As you can hear, I'm not fully here yet. Usually I'm very more vibrant, but I'm just trying to get back in the swing of things and take my mind off what's going on, So I mean,
yeah. And I really appreciate it if you guys saw the guy from Variety, Owen Gleiberman. He wants to come back. He wants to come back because I know you'll want to talk to him because he's a very knowledgeable person. One of the fans wrote that I could listen to this guy speak all day because he was so knowledgeable about film.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to come back. He's like, I will come back. I'm like, good. So
yeah.
We'll get that done. And then, folks, just, I've said this before. It's always easy to give when it's, when things are good. It's hard to give when times are tough. And right now he needs your support. The family needs your support. So give whatever you can. If you can't give, maybe share it, help get the word out. We need this help. And make it your good deed for the day.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much. It's rough. I mean, I had to close her eyes the other day for the last time, and it's beating me up right now. But I need to get my mind off of it because if I sit on that couch for any longer, I'm gonna go insane. So, but she's in a better place now, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who stopped by today, everyone who continues to stop by and support us. And I I'm working on Saturday's guest. Should be a fun one. And you'll all love him. And we're gonna get that done. But before then, Wednesday is Quick Dip. So join us then, and I'll announce who that guest is. So join us for Quick Dip on Wednesday. I'll announce the guest for Saturday. You guys are the best in the world. I love you. Jack loves you. We do it for you. And we do it for the culture.